Hello. The time comes for most people eventually when it's time to move on. You, I was nervous about this. I'd lost those skills that we had when we were young and courting and didn't have a care in the world and were prepared to make a fool of yourself. I decided I would use the advertisements in the newspaper. Gentleman wishes to contact a lady. I didn't know anything about them, so I found out that they don't phone you directly. They leave messages on the agency phone, and you can listen to them in the privacy of your own home and think about them. I don't know how you work out. You can listen to the voice, and you get to imagine what that person looks like, or is what they say, or um, but somehow you pick up something and you make a decision. The advertisement appeared, and 2 or 3 days later, I got a message saying there was some messages waiting for me. So I phoned, and it was 3 messages, I think, and I listened to them, and none of them really appealed to me. But I made a point of phoning each of them, and I did say, I remember that I said, "Well, thank you very much for replying, but I've decided I'm not ready yet to meet anybody because I didn't want to give any other reason. I thought that was reasonable." Um, but then I thought about it, and I thought, well, you've got to do it sometime. You've got to get the first one under your belt, sort of thing. You've got to meet somebody and see what it's about. So a few days later, I was told that there were more messages waiting for me, and I listened to them. Um, and I decided one of the ladies I would phone to say hello to. So I did. I phoned, and lady at the other end sounded very nice, and I told her I was nervous because I hadn't contacted anybody before, and we spoke for a short while, and it was actually she suggested, well, we should meet somewhere um, for a coffee. I thought, well, that's a good idea, and I said that I'd meet her outside Fraser's in Buchanan Street in Glasgow, and we could go into their coffee room, coffee place, and have a cup of coffee. And it was also good because then you could smoke as well, so a coffee and a cigarette would be great to steady my nerves. Um, so the day came, and I was outside Fraser's, and this lady came to me, and I recognised what she told me she would be wearing, and my nerves really started jumping about then. I had to go up to her and say, "Hello, are you so and so?" "Yes, I'm so." Right. And we had a coffee. Um, it was nice, a half hour's chat with a cup of coffee. Didn't find it difficult to talk at all. She told me a bit about her life, what she was interested in. I told her a bit about my life, and she was divorced. This rang bells for me. Now, she's told me her side of the divorce, but I don't know the other side, and there's two sides to every divorce. But we parted amicably, and I said to her, well, look, we've only just met, and we need to think about each other, sort of thing. I'll give you a phone in 2 or 3 days' time. And we parted. It, I decided no, but I just said, I phoned her up and I said, look, I said, I don't think I'm ready for this yet. And she understood that, and that was the end of that. Pardon me. But But more messages came. I was told there were more messages waiting, so I phoned around and I started meeting ladies once a week, quite regularly actually. And I got into the habit of being able to do it, and I lost that nervous feeling. But the one thing I found in particular was they were really looking for somebody to talk to. I was also looking for somebody to talk to. I don't know if I wanted to take it any further. I just wanted to meet somebody in my age group, possibly also recently bereaved, just to talk. And much the same, I phoned them up, and to all of them I said the same thing. Look, it was very nice to meet you, and you're very nice, but I've decided I don't want to go ahead at the moment. I'm not ready. Um, so that suited me. Well, I didn't. I cancelled the advert and I said I don't want it in the paper for a while. And a month or so went by when I was told there was a message waiting for me. Two messages waiting for me there were. So I phoned the first one. It was down at the borders, 100 mile away. And I said to the lady, I said, I'm sorry. I said, I told her, I said, I live in Glasgow. I said, you're 100 miles away. I said, by the time I get down there to say hello to you for a cup of coffee, it'll be time to turn around and come home again. And she said, well, you could come down on Friday and stay over until Monday and then go back on Monday. I was tempted. I was tempted. I never did it. Never did it. And I heard the other message, and it was a nice voice. And I phoned, and my intention was to say, look, I'm sorry, it's been a mistake, it shouldn't have been there. But when I heard a voice, I started chatting away, and before I knew it, we'd been chatting for three-quarters of an hour. And she sounded very nervous. And she said it was the first time she'd ever replied, and I believed her. I believed her. And I said, this is your landline number you've given me, isn't it? She said, yes. I said, well, you're not supposed to. I said, you should be using a mobile phone so I can't check who you are. I said, there's a lot of strange people about. I said, look, I'd like to meet somewhere for a cup of coffee. And she said, oh, we'll come over for lunch tomorrow. I said, no. I said, for all you know, I could be Jack the Ripper. I said, you don't invite me to your house. You don't give me your address. You don't do anything until you've met me. Oh, no, she said, I trust you. Oh, God. So the following day I did go over and I saw her, and I liked her when I first saw her. And we chatted, and I stayed there for a long time the first day, and I've been seeing her ever since. That was nice. She did things that were terribly wrong. Using a landline instead of a mobile. Giving a full name eventually to me. Meeting me in a place that wasn't public. I could have been anybody. It might take a while, but there is somebody out there for you. But please, take great care with the information you give them. Better to be safe than sorry.